environment will support your thinking. It will support your mindset. That's how important our environment is. And you've heard me say this a bunch of times on here, y'all. I know this isn't anything new. You've heard me say this a bunch, that you're the average of the 5 people you spend time with. That you got to understand that who you're around, what you're consuming, what you're listening to is crucial to you being successful in any area of your life. But this just drives it home. And I want us to think this Monday on, like, just to have a little bit of a wake up call to evaluate our environment, right? To take a inventory of our environment, take an inventory of it. Like what's happening? These are some of the things I wrote down. That environment overrides everything. Your environment overrides everything. You can be doing all of the work, mindset wise, growth wise, putting in the time, and then you step back into a negative, right, bad environment. It'll wipe away all the stuff you're doing. It's like it's counteracting, right? It's not allowing you to get to where you want to go. That's how powerful our environment is. Your home life, your work life, who you surround yourself with. This is your environment. You get to dictate your environment, ladies and gentlemen. You get to choose. We have a choice. I know sometimes it's like, well, I have to have this job. Sure, but you choose how long you talk to your coworker. You choose how frequent you're engaging in the office conversations, the water cooler conversation. You choose that. You choose how much you engage with people that maybe aren't headed in your direction. You choose those things. Environment overrides everything. He said most powerful force is being consistent and congruent with the expectations and standards of those around us. One of the most powerful forces is being consistent and congruent with the expectations and standards of those around us. He gave the example of a child, right? Their peer group is what shapes them. Yes, parents have influence, right? Yes, teachers, coaches, ministers, they have influence in the child's life, but who really shapes kind of how they maneuver? It's their peer group. It's who they spend the most time with. It's who they respect. It's who they like. It's who they're choosing to be around. So that's why we all done it as kids. We do dumb things to fit in. We do dumb things just because other people around us are doing those things. That happens very much so when we're children, when we're adolescent. It's what happens. As adults, we don't think about it, but we just do the same things that our coworkers do, or that our family does, or that our peer group does as an adult. It's the same thing, same behaviors, just we're a bit older. So it's not like we're doing like dumb, reckless things. It's just maybe we're just living at an average level because everyone around us is average, because everyone else has a 9-to-5 job and just, right, puts money away in their 401k and takes 2 vacations a year and has a little party here and there on the weekend. And so that's what we choose to do because that's our environment. So that's why changing the people around you, this is what Ed was talking about, this is why changing the people around you will help you keep your standards high. I love that example of the cake example he gave, because it's true, right? It's true. When you get around, imagine you get around some people that are extremely healthy and they have some different standards for their own life. They're not pushing those standards on you. They just have different standards for their own life. They have a standard of like when I'm going to eat a certain meal or when I'm going to eat dessert or whatever the case is, that's their standard. And so he gave the example, the first 3 people, like it's cake time, the first 3 people say, no, that's okay, I'll pass on cake. No, I'll pass. Man, he's the 4th one. It feels uncomfortable to be like, yeah, I'll take the piece. Give me the biggest piece too. I've been waiting on this cake. Because the 3 people in his peer group and the people that he was associated with just said, no, I'll pass. And so he said, almost by like peer pressure, it was like, yeah, no, I'll pass too. Those are subtle examples that happen every single day in our life. Every time we're around the people that we're around, they're setting a standard for how you live. They're setting a standard for what you now start to believe is acceptable. Whatever you start to see around you, you will adapt that. That's why it's important to get around people with higher standards than you. It's like he said, you got to get around the people that push you to grow, to learn, to read, to do all the things, because otherwise, if you're in the other environment, they're helping you stay the same. Proximity is power. I said proximity is power. Proximity, the closeness that you have to people. I shared this with the team yesterday, right? I always say a saying, stay close to the fire. Stay close to the fire. That's what proximity is power means. So you're staying close to the fire. The people that give you life, the people that give you energy, the people that support your dreams, the people that help your mindset grow. You got to get closer to those people. The further away you get from them, the easier it is for that fire to die out, for the enemy to come attack you, for the doubts and fears and worries and all the things of the world to come into your mind if you're not around the right people. Do they believe in me? Do the people around you believe in me? This is really tough. This is really tough because at the end of the day, right, we love a lot of the people that are around us, but do they believe in us? Do they believe in us? Right? Like, do they believe in where you're about to go, or do they limit you from where you're trying to go? Do they say, no, you're okay right where you are? That's a parent's job. This is why sometimes when you're in this path of success, you're breaking a lot of the things that your parents want from you or for you because it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to distance yourself because they love you just as you are. They like, you don't have to change. You don't have to do anything. You just, they'll love you right there. That's not going to help us get to where we want to go. It's great to feel that love, but those aren't the people we can surround ourselves with all the time if we want to go off and design our ideal life. And sometimes it's hard to distinguish those two. Yeah, they love me. Do they believe in me? Do they believe in this goal, this dream, these things that I have up ahead, these talents, these skills, these gifts, the things that I'm doing? Do they believe in me? Maybe not. You got to evaluate. Remember, you gotta take an inventory of your environment on this Monday. Last couple things. Are they a past or a future reference? Are they a past or a future reference when you're talking to people? What's the dominant conversations? I used to say, my wife hates when I say this saying or this, quote, but I just believe it, right? Uh, poor minds talk about the past, average minds talk about the present, great minds talk about the future. Right? It's not that we can't talk about the past. It's just what's our actual frame of reference? Like, how much are we talking about that? Get around a lot of people sometimes, and it's like, man, all we do is talk about the good old days. Remember the times back in the day. And that's like Ed Milet said, got to understand, it's reinforcing the older version of you. That's what that does. The more you have these memories and these thoughts of who you once were and what you once did, you're reinforcing that version of you. So you will think about that version of you, which means you'll get similar outcomes in your life as that version. We have to talk about the future. We have to talk about ideas. We have to talk about where we're going. We have to talk about what's up ahead. We have to give hope. We have to talk about our visions. These are the type of people you want to get around. If this is not your environment currently, like Ed said, try to add a couple people in that are this way, that do more think about vision. Sometimes people talk about the past, hear it. Now let's talk about the present and the future. Got it. Now let's talk about how we move forward from this. Got it. Now let's talk about where we're going, right? You got to be around people like that if that's not already you. That's already me. And again, I'm just a little further down this journey maybe than some of you. Some of you are right there with me, but that's me, right? Like I'm the guy that's going to always talk vision, future, ideas, right? Present, those types of things. It's important to get to where you want to go because we get our standards. That's what he said. We get our standards. So you got to be around people that have high standards. And then lastly, are they an energy drainer or an energy giver? This is so important when you are evaluating your circle, when you're taking this inventory of your environment. Are the people that you're around typically draining your energy or are they giving you energy? People that are energy neutral or energy drainers, he gave you 3 keys: be kind, be cordial, be concise. You can be kind to them. You don't have to be mean, like, why are you always draining my energy? Like, you don't have to say that type of stuff to them. Like, still be kind, still be cordial, still shake hands, still say hey, but you got to be concise. No longer can they get 45 minutes of your time. No longer can they get an hour and a half of your time. Like this, you have to shorten it. You have to be like, hey, I'm kind, right? I'm cordial, and you get 5 minutes. And now I got to run, right? Because We are people that are on the journey of designing our ideal life. We're the people that are on the journey of designing a life we don't need a break from. If those aren't the people that are around you and they're taking your energy, it takes energy to go after your dreams. Say that all the time. I highly recommend that you write that down and remember that it takes energy to go after your dreams. From a health standpoint, this is why you get your health in order to go after your dreams, because it takes energy. Like you're expending more energy, more mental energy, a lot of times more physical energy just to go after the life you want. There are going to be some earlier mornings. There are going to be some later nights. There are going to be some nights you don't get all the sleep that you wanted. There's going to be some meetings that you have to go to a little bit drained because it takes energy to go after your dreams. So if people and your environment are draining your energy, how do you expect to get to the life that you want? It's really difficult. These are some things I want us to focus on this Monday, heading into this week. Take an inventory of your environment, y'all. Take an inventory of what's around you. Understand that these things all play a part in how you get to success, in success in any area, financial success, again, spiritual, right? In your faith life, you get around people that, right, have a standard of not praying or not in their devotion or not, if that's their standard, you'll pick up the same things versus you get to a standard of people that are constantly in their word, constantly in devotion, constantly in prayer, constantly at church. Like you'll be in a different, you have a different standard for your money, for your health, for your relationships. It's all the areas. That's what we got to focus on if we want to get to our ideal life, y'all. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. If no one else ever tells you it, I will continue to tell you, Veronica, as you're taking your walk, focusing on your health, you deserve to win. Your families deserve to win. I appreciate all of you. Continue to lock in. Do something today that scares you, pushes you out your comfort zone, but most importantly, let's take inventory of our environment today. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.